professional, man.
That is
just
pro.
follow me.
I've never even heard
Just
that
follow
one.
me. Okay, SoulFest. We're backstage here. Chris Tomlin.
Hey, what's up, Paul Colman?
I just said your name, and I wanted to see what you'd say. Chris Tomlin.
Paul Colman.
So, is this your first SoulFest?
No, we've been at SoulFest a few times now, so it's really good to be back. It's been a few years since we've been here though.
Return business is good.
It's really good, man. I love Dan, Russell, and all the leadership here, and their heart and their ministry and what their focus is. Talked to Dan today about the focus of this place and the festival, and I love it that it's just not another festival, thrown together. And I really feel that, and so it's good to be a part of that.
You know, I met you backstage at Creation Festival in 2003, and you were playing at 11 o'clock, and I was playing at 7:30. My, how times have changed. What happened? You started writing better songs. Now, you moved from Texas to Atlanta. Why was that?
Church. Passion City Church we started planning a church there with my friend Louis Giglio, and that has been a dream of ours for a few years. And so I've been a Texan my whole life, of course, and now moving to Atlanta has been a little bit of shift, but the church is so great and exploding. And, so I'm a pastor, man, believe it or not. I'm a worship pastor of the church, and that's a huge responsibility in the midst of coming to things like this and touring. And so, but I love it because it's just so great to see it explode. And that's where the songs come from for me, wanting to write songs for the church. I've always been leading worship at a church. And so to lead with one of my best friends and someone who I respect so much, and just to see God moving in people's lives and people coming to know the Lord every Sunday is pretty exciting. And so I've been there for 3 years now.
Sorry, I pulled it back just before you were finished. My bad.
Pros don't do that.
Yeah, well, I'm not a pro. So here's my question. I came out of playing in pubs and clubs and then kind of came to the faith community.
Yes.
But you've come out of singing kind of leading in a small church and then performing on a big stage.
Right.
So here's my question for you.
Okay.
I'm an entertainer, so there's not a big kind of jump with being a performer. But when you're writing songs for this, but you're also trying to kind of get a show across and performing, what's that like? Like, how do you think about that?
I think about it all the time, and you know what? I try to just stay in a place of like having a presence and not a performance. For me, it's having a presence of saying, okay, for some reason I'm on the stage, the spotlight is coming down on me. God has put me here at this moment in my life, and give me a voice with people. And so the last thing I want to do is put on a performance, but also I know that people are looking at me, and so I want to have a presence that calls people together. Say, hey man, this is what we're doing, and then hopefully the humility to lead them to God and not to myself. And that's when it's all about performance, it's more leading them to yourself. But when it's just about a presence of like, hey, here I am, but I'm leading you to God. I hope at the end of the day that somehow, whatever, I think when you're leading an army, the general doesn't just say, if you guys want to follow me, just come on. But he's like, no, this is what we're doing. We're going. Come on, follow me. And that's how I see leading worship at this moment in life, is because it's intense, it's real, and I just want to lead people in that way and say, this is what we're doing. Come on, let's go for it. And that's really not about performance at all. That's about being a leader.
It's good. Do you ever write any songs that are not like vertical songs, that are just more like about anything else, like country songs?
I've tried before. I've written a few, but they're just not any good, and I can't do it.
See, I tried the other way around. I can't write your songs.
Well, there we go. Maybe we should tour together.
I think, your record company's never going to want that to happen. So are you doing any touring around, or is it festivals and back at church? What's going on?
Yeah, church is a huge thing right now, all the focus. But yeah, I did a tour this spring and a tour this fall. The record is called "And If Our God Is For Us," which is of course, a lyric from the song "Our God." But that tour we've done, myself and Louis Giglio, we've done that tour throughout the U.S. and we finished it up this fall. But
so he talks, you sing. Is that?
That's right. That's probably the best way.
Now, I heard a rumor, and I think now's the time.
Okay, let's listen.
I heard you got married.
I got married, man. This is huge. I mean, this is big.
We were wondering.
A long time. I probably were.
No, wondering when it was going to happen. I wasn't wondering anything else.
Okay, good. It's been a long time coming, but she's amazing. Her name's Lauren. I met her when I moved to Atlanta, and she's really good for me, and she keeps me in my place. And she's an amazing girl. Has a real heart for ministry, and knows, you'll love this, knows really nothing about music. doesn't really.
She can tell a hit though.
Oh,
Wives can tell.
well, she can tell when it's a good song. She can, but she's like, it's not her world. It's I didn't like marry someone who's in this world, and really, I'm just trying to catch her up to like, she'll be sing a worship song or something, and she goes, I love this song. I was like, baby, I wrote that song, and she's like, you did? You did? It's hilarious. She has no clue. So it's kind of fun.
And so I also heard another rumor that you're a pretty passionate golfer.
I am very passionate about. I love that game.
What's your handicap?
So not good. Thank you for putting me on the spot. My handicap is probably about 10, 12.
See, when people start saying probably, that's when you go.
Well, I don't have an official one.
12 is good though.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what that means, Google it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Low 80s. Low 80s almost every time.
Low 80s is good, and you live on a golf course.
No, I don't live on a golf course.
I thought you do.
I live close to a golf course that they're holding the PGA Championship on the course there. And I live close to it. I don't live on the. There's no.
Okay, I got a question for you. I've been thinking about this. Is a song anointed, or is melody itself anointed? And if what people call a song is anointed, does it just mean it's well written and God already had the melody, or can a badly written song be anointed?
Man, well, look at these questions. Yeah, that's a good question. Anointing to me, it's a big word people throw around a lot. They just throw that word around like it's sometimes like it's every day, especially in the church. But that is a touch of God. To me, the anointing is just the touch of God on something. And
let me ask you this, right? Your songs have great melodies, okay? No, fact. They have lyrics that are honest and direct and inspired by Scripture.
Yeah.
My question is, if you wrote those lyrics with not as good melodies, would you be as well known?
I don't know. That's huge. That's an amazing question. Thank you for putting me with cameras in my face. I don't know.
They got editing.
I can't answer that question.
I would say no. I would say the melodies that you've written, God, He made melody.
Yeah.
But you're a gifted songwriter, and He's using you.
I would say I could say that. I think about the song "How Great Is Our God," and I think how simple that chorus is. There's nothing to it, and I wasn't sitting there thinking I want to write a song that the world will sing in all languages. I was just I was sitting on my sofa with my guitar, and that song came out really quickly. And it's interesting because I always pray, as I'm sure you have too, is from many. It's like, God, would you, if your presence, what Moses said, this is interesting. You got me going on this, but this is one of my soapboxes, man.
Bring it.
Moses in Exodus, he's like, if your presence doesn't go with me, I don't want to go. Don't send me from here. It says, for the next sentence is everything to me. For what will distinguish me among all the people of the earth? And I love that question because I'm like, God, and I don't, just like you said, I haven't invented a new instrument. We're not playing anything that any other band's playing. We're playing drums, guitars, bass guitars. We're singing songs that have a verse and a chorus. We're doing everything else to everybody. That's nothing different. But I say, God, what will distinguish it is your presence and your favor. That's what Moses is saying. There's nothing else that's going to distinguish me but your presence and your favor, God, as a leader. And so I always pray that. I say, God, would you give me that favor? Would you give me that presence? Your presence.
But there's also like the skill of writing a song too. Like you just don't always go with the first thing that comes out. I mean, you work on it, right?
It is I work on it so hard, man. I write and rewrite, then I say, oh, the chorus isn't good enough. Then I write the chorus. I'm like, now the verse doesn't match the chorus.
Right. And so I think that's what the reason I asked you is I want people to hear that there's a gift and there's God's presence, but there's also what we have to put in.
Tons. And you don't wake up in the morning and go, oh, God. Pray, God, I just really want to be a songwriter. Very few people wake up the next day and are songwriters. Songwriting is, especially when you're writing songs of worship, it is songs of response to God. But it's not just like, my friend Matt Redman, he says it so well. He's like, he said people always like, they come up to Matt and they come up to him and they go, oh man, Matt, God gave me this song, God just gave me it, and they play it for me. And I'm like, and I'm listening to it and he goes, it's so bad. And I'm thinking, maybe God gave you that because He doesn't want it anymore. It's, it's like,
or He never wanted it.
Yeah, right. It's like,
that's my point, though. Can it be anointed if it doesn't have a good melody?
I don't know, but I will say this. I will say, when it comes to songs, just because you feel like God gave it to you doesn't mean there's not to work on it. Because especially when it comes to worship songs, people are like, oh, I just got this song in my heart. God gave it to me and it's done. Sometimes maybe it's not, and sometimes there's a mystery to songwriting and saying, how do you know when it's done, and how do you know it's finished? And you just work at it. Once you feel like, man, that's right, and it's a process, man. And for me, I write I'm always continually writing. I write so many songs, and most of them you'll never hear because they're not any good. But every once in a while, you feel like God gives you something, and it's work. And it's not this really mystical thing. It's work just like, plumbing is work. It's just like our, computer software work. It's work of writing a song. There's also something that at the end of the day, you want God's presence and favor and touch on it, because especially for me when I'm trying to write songs of worship, because I'm not trying to write the pop song that lasts for 6 weeks and then it's gone. I want to write songs that find their way into churches in Africa, in Brazil, and just write songs that the church can sing. And I'm very unapologetic about that. People are like, your songs aren't artsy enough. I'm like, I want to write a song that just people can just sing and pick their guitar and sing.
I think God wants us to be like a Scottish football crowd sometimes when we sing,
Yeah.
like in a bar with John Wesley.
Yeah.
You don't have to touch that one. I'll own it. So the thing about SoulFest is, we got people like Chris here. We've got independent artists. We've got everyone. And tonight, the songs that you'll sing from that stage are going out, not just as a show, but as a part of a festival that's actually talking about this idea of God's love.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited for those songs to be in the context of this, and I know you are too.
Yeah, I love it. And I love that there's so much like heart of not just coming together and just singing songs, but really there's so many ministries here involved, and social justice issues here that are involved that people can get involved with. And that's to me, that's a lot of times the back door. The front door is opening of worship, and it's like you get people in the front door, and then sometimes just going out the back door of the house and just like into the justice of the world and touching the least of these. And that's beautiful. That's something we've been a part of with passion, with my church, and with that movement. That's so close to our heart and what we do. So it's great to team up with a festival that has that heart too, that's really focused that way.
And let me tell you this, scriptures say that someone's testimony about themselves is not powerful, but someone else's is. So let me give my story, is that I don't think you write the songs you do and do what you do because you're trying to make money or trying to be famous. I know I did, but I don't think you do. I think it comes from a truly legitimate place, and I love that. And I think that's what people resonate with, is they resonate with integrity and when something's good, and it helps them glorify God. So on behalf of all of us, thanks for what you do, man.
You're a good man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're very kind.
All right, Chris Tomlin at SoulFest.
Paul Colman.
Last word, Paul Colman.